And now it is my great pleasure to introduce this year's student speaker, Jack Dunphy. Raised on the south side of Chicago, Jack left the Midwest after 2 years at Columbia College to continue his education at Eugene College and to pursue a career in independent filmmaking. While at Lang, he has made an autobiographical short film entitled Serenity for Kaveh Zahedi's Personal Docs class, which was featured in the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. He also co-wrote and co-produced the feature film Stinking Heaven, which had its world premiere at the 2015 Rotterdam Film Festival. Please join me in welcoming Jack to the stage to deliver Lang's 2015 Student Commencement Address.
Hi. It's weird to be graduating college because I barely graduated high school. I had a D average, and I applied to film schools only because I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I thought I heard someone say once that you have to go to film school to do that. I got into one film school in Chicago, open admission, and I didn't really have a great time there. It employed a sort of film school by numbers approach to teaching, which is fine, except I felt that my personal voice, if I had one at all, was definitely not being nurtured. This is how you make a film. This is how you become a filmmaker, was the underlining sentiment of every class, not this is why you make a film, or this is why you become a filmmaker. Plus, it was all film and no school. I felt blocked off from the outside world. Occupy Chicago was happening right outside of our classroom windows, and we were stuck inside, rushing through the filmography of Orson Welles. I realized pretty quickly that if all I ever learned about were movies, I'd never have anything to make a movie about. 2 years ago, I made the one decision in my life that I can confidently describe as good. I applied to Lang. On my first day, I realized that this school has something that my old school did not. Convictions. Sometimes conflicting, sometimes wrong-headed, but never empty. I saw students asking the same questions that they were asking inside of the classroom, outside of the classroom. I saw instructors teaching their students how to think, not what to think. I saw a smoky courtyard. Divided by revolving hairstyles and notions of fashion, but united by an insatiable pursuit of truth and knowledge. On a whim, I signed up for a class called The Personal Documentary. I was stunned on the first day when the instructor walked in through the door, fashionably late, and I realized that this was the director and star of I Am a Sex Addict. I had shoplifted this movie from Blockbuster in 8th grade and had watched repeatedly with my friend Charlie in his basement until his grandma came down and saw like 10 seconds of it and freaked out and confiscated the DVD and sent me home. I didn't see Kaveh Zahedi again until I arrived here. In this unique, hands-on film class, Kaveh asks you to make a short documentary about yourself each week with a specific prompt like fear or embarrassment or shame or your body or your parents. My dad has still never seen the movie I made about him, and I pray to God he never does. Sorry, Dad. Some people say that this class encourages narcissism. In reality, this class encourages the same thing that Lang does: introspection. Whereas Cave teaches you to look inward, though, Lang teaches you to look outward. Who am I in relation to everything else? How do my race, my sexuality, and my economic background affect me and those with whom I share this profoundly mistreated planet? Lang forced me to confront my uncomfortable reality. I am a straight white man. That's a weird applause line. But Cave's personal doc class forced me to confront the reality of being a self-loathing, slightly overweight, straight white man. I spent a lot of time composing pretty shots for my first personal doc, making it slick and shiny. But it was a failure because it wasn't personal. It wasn't truthful. Cave let me know it. I mean, he really, 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 really let me know it. After a few months of intensive honesty training from both Cave and from many of his colleagues, I made a film that I thought was too confessional, too vulnerable, and just too raw to show to anyone. I almost didn't show it in class. 1 year later, this film was featured in the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. I had applause break written in there, so I'm glad that worked out. If I had never found Lang, I never would have achieved the level of openness and self-awareness it requires to make a film that festival programmers, or anyone for that matter, would want to sit through. Lang didn't only make me a more honest filmmaker, it made me a more honest person, though I still have a long way to go. I'm happy to say that I have raised that D average a little since high school, and it's all because this place challenged me. I still don't like school, but I like this school. As I process the curious sight of this graduating class before me, many of whom I wish I'd gotten to know better, standing here today in these ridiculous hats, I am rejuvenated with hope. Hope is good. Hope is good. I know the values instilled in my fellow graduates by Lang will last a lifetime, and that we will shepherd these values with us into the world. I have faith that we will not waste our Lang-telligence by talking down to our friends back home because they don't know what heteronormative means, but rather that we will spread the good word of progressive thinking with a level of emotional intelligence that matches our academic intelligence. I can't wait to one day live in a world where the graduates I see before me are 40. I think you will all make tremendous 40-year-olds. Thank you.